I've always had a fondness for Nimbus boats. They just seem to do everything so well, and they make excellent handling boats. Today, I'm on the Commuter 11. I'm going to do a full features inspection for you. Come on aboard and we'll take a look at what it's like. I'm Captain Steve.
The Nimbus Commuter 11 has a length overall of 40 feet 7 inches, a beam of 11 feet 4 inches, and a draft of 3 feet. She has an empty weight of 14,550 pounds, and she's designed to hold 12 people.
I want to start inside, and the key point here is it's the commuter. Picture yourself going to work in something like this. You live in maybe southern Connecticut along the shoreline there, and you're going over to Long Island. It's an easy commute, 20 minutes instead of taking 4 or 5 hours by car. I was representing a dealer in one of these boats, and he had a contact that was going from Bellingham, Washington over to the San Juan Islands. That's something that would have taken forever by car, if you can even do it by car. 20 minutes, half hour by this boat. And the guy brought his friends along with him. They were splitting the cost of everything. So it works out kind of nicely. So picture coming aboard here. This is our Uber or our Lyft. We walk inside, you take your coat off, hang it up right over here. And now you're sitting down at this table, having some coffee, maybe your morning breakfast, reading the paper, enjoying the ride while we head over to work. The beauty of this spot right here is it's also changeable in that we can make both seats facing forward. So even more of a commuter. With this bench in the forward facing position, notice that we have flip down footrests underneath. That's a convenient feature. 46 inches to the full width here. If you did decide that you were going to use this location to have a meal, well, all of your tableware is conveniently stored right here. This seat is also expandable. We can slide it right out so that it supports in this position right here. Filler cushions located right there will slide into position, and now this whole area becomes forward-facing seating from 53 inches expanded to 80 inches. Additionally, we've got air conditioning vents, heating vents, temperature control right here, speakers on the overhead, multicolored lights on the overhead, skylights, and opening sunroofs. We can also close this whole area off in blackout shades. But more importantly, look at all of the windows surrounding us all the way around. It's almost 360 degrees visibility with large doors to both port and starboard. Kind of hard not to be impressed with this helm area. The operation station is over to the starboard side. There are two 12-inch SIMRAD displays. Mercury vessel view display just below that. Electrical switches, all kind of color matching the soft touch panel. Heat and air conditioning vents. There's a little cubby that has connectivity in USB format ×3. Beverage holders, compass in line with the helm. Steering wheel is on a tilt base. Zip wake, controller, stereo, and your engine controls, the digital throttle and shift, plus your Mercury joystick alongside the controls. The seats, however, a whole nother level. I mean, just look at these seats. Not only are they fully adjustable, they're suspension seats. Down below, we have a footrest for the operator. And here's a nice touch that I wouldn't have thought of, a heater right next to your feet. Here's an interesting feature. We've got windshield wipers to the forward windshield and to the side. Moving back to the cockpit area, well, now we're still sitting in a relaxed position, but we're more exposed. So if we're not in the Pacific Northwest, this is an ideal place to hang out. Table is expandable. And if we want to have even more room back here, we can simply fold this out of the way.
There's also a fixed bench option, and in either case, there's full walk-around capability.
Just behind, we've got storage for fenders and then the outboards. This is outboard powered, and a big story to talk about with that one. We can get either 300, 350s, or 400s. I've been on this boat on the water, and with 400s, I'm approaching about 60, 61 miles an hour. Sweet spot for cruising is more in the 36 to 42 range, and that's going to give you about 200 miles of range.
Top speed of 50.8 miles per hour. Best cruise was at 46.4 miles per hour, and with a 43.6 gallon per hour fuel burn at that speed, she had a range of 215 statute miles, while still holding back a 10% reserve of the boat's 224-gallon total fuel capacity.
Now, because we've got outboard power, all of this area under the deck becomes storage, and we can lift it. Look at this, 2 fingers, and I'm lifting this whole thing because it's all supported by gas assist struts. Huge amount of storage under here, even enough for the generator. Notice also we have another access hatch right here underneath the table. There's also an option for putting a control station at this location.
This station is fully outfitted and even includes a nav display and a JPO joystick. Plus, it offers a full view of the stern and the whole starboard side.
Couple of things that I notice when I'm on this boat that you probably won't be able to see in the video, but these doors, I mean, it's so big and solid. That gives this boat a lot of gravitas, that it's so well built and strong. More to the point, if I close this door over here, now things get nice and quiet, and because we don't have those big bulky stern drive engines, underneath that hatch we've got quiet outboards mounted much further back. This is a nice quiet area to sit and relax. Plus, when you're underway on this boat, you don't have it riding way back in the stern, like on a pad perhaps. It's a stepped hull, so you're getting the spray coming out right about this location here. What that means is the whole boat is going to be much more stable than if it were riding on the stern. The bow would be up and down and slapping, and you would get that bouncing ride. We don't get that with this boat. It's a much more stable ride because at high-speed cruise, your spray is here, and even at a lower speed cruise, it only moves back to this location, so the boat stays remarkably solid throughout the performance envelope. Making our way up the side decks, 20 inches is our average width. Industry-wide, the average is 19, so we're doing much better, and it's symmetrical to both sides. Look at the safety factor we've got with these bulwarks. They come up to 34 inches, rails topping out at 36. Standard is 24 inches. How about that for safety? Got 2 steps in the middle, each one 7 inches, and that brings us forward to the bow area where we've got a little bit of a relaxing place on top of the trunk cabin. This one measures in at a width of 52 inches, and for length we're looking at 56 inches. Forward of that, we've got another little lounge, and this time 45 inches. Nice feature of the table that we saw in the aft cockpit area, that can be taken out and put into this position, so we've got opposing seating to both sides of a table. Fully forward, a hatch is opened by another gas assist strut. Inside is the chain locker and a windlass that's supporting the anchor going through the stem. Now, in addition to this being a commuter, it's also a capable weekender. Let's take a look at the cabin. Notice as we come in that the stairs are offset, so step in with your right foot first. And then, beautiful cabin class comfort on this boat. Nimbus really does a nice job. They also do a nice job on making sure that the fit and finish is where it needs to be, but not excessively. No upholstery. Upholstery up here, keeping the sound down. We've got windows, plenty of light, plenty of natural light coming in as well. Let's start at the stern and work our way forward. Immediately at the door, we've got our battery switches, fuel for the diesel generator, fresh water gauge, generator controls, refrigerator drawer, double basin stainless steel sink, Corian counters, a 2-burner electric stove, plenty of storage underneath. Notice that there's also clever storage behind. Fully forward, there's a berth measuring 77 inches fore and aft by 61 inches average side to side. There are little storage cubbies to the side, hull side windows. There's a mirror fully forward, opening port lights just above the hull side windows. One thing that's not lost on me is because this boat has a plumb bow, the length is carried so far forward and we have so much more room down here. To the side, we've got convenient storage. There's also storage up on top because we've got some raised fiddles. All of this forward area gets privacy from a curtain that can pull across. Just outside the curtained area is the head compartment. Notice that it's not a wet head. There's actually an enclosed shower with a curved door. There's a seat over the electric flush toilet, Corian counter with a single basin stainless steel sink. And then the next door is for yet another berth. This one has a small sitting area, storage, hull side window, and an opening port light. This measures in at 76 inches by 48 inches, overhead height 17 inches. Between the cabin class comfort and the commuter capabilities of this boat, it's so capable on so many levels. In fact, as I go through the boat, I'm not seeing it as a commuter boat, but what I see is the perfect great loop boat. What more do you need out of a boat like this? And that's my full features inspection of the Nimbus C11. I'm Captain Steve, and I'll see you on the water. Plus your Mercury DTS, plus your Mercury JPS, the joystick, plus your Mercury joystick alongside the control. Here's a nice touch that I never would have thought of, a heater right next to the footrest, so you're getting cooled. Single basin stainless steel sink, double basin stainless steel sink, Corian counters.